Insights, practical truths for successful living with Carl Summer.
The story of the country mouse and the city mouse demonstrates the difference between a house and a home. Proud city mouse wanted to make a good impression to his cousin's country mouse. He gets dressed in his finest, and as he gets dressed, he wonders, I wonder what kind of a dingy place he lives in. There are people always looking down on others. They are the upper class and look down on others who perhaps are less fortunate. When City Mouse arrives at Country Mouse's dwelling in a tree trunk, he was shocked. He says to himself, what a terrible place to live. How can anyone live in a place like this? When Country Mouse opens the door, he welcomes City Mouse. The first thing City Mouse asks is this where you live? In an old tree in the forest? Yes, Country Mouse replied. It's very peaceful and quiet here. Parents, I would like to ask you, do you have a house or a home? A house is where you eat and sleep, but a home is where there is happiness and friendship. Unfortunately, in today's society, too many families just live in a house. They eat at separate times, they hardly make any time for each other, and when they come home, they each go into their own room and live basically separate lives instead of being together as a family. I urge you as parents, make your family a home. Have family time where everyone eats at the dinner table. I made it a rule that no television should be on when we eat at family dinner time. Another rule I had, no problems were to be discussed when we eat. I came from a home where my father often yelled when we ate. I did not want my family to be like this. I wanted our family time to be a happy time where we eat and share together. Upon seeing where Country Mouse lives, City Mouse boasts, I have green lawns and all sorts of beautiful flowers surrounding my house. When he sees the living room, he says, I feel so sorry for you. I can hardly wait until you see where I live. Once you see my living room, you'll never want to live in a home like this again. Country Mouse replies, I'm looking forward to seeing your home. You may live in an apartment or some small house or a trailer home, and you see these beautiful mansions. You may feel, oh, how nice it must be to live in one of these. But if you would see what takes place in some of these beautiful, rich mansions, you'll run right back to your tiny little home. I'd rather live in a small shack where everyone is warm and friendly than live in a mansion filled with strife. Some parents make a big mistake and work and work and work to provide their children with all sorts of material things in hopes of winning their hearts. But in their busyness, they have no time to play and have fun times together with their children. Stop loading and focusing only on material blessings in hopes that your children will be happy and satisfied. Sit down and read a book to your children. Play games. Take them to the park or to a zoo. Have family fun times with your children. So your children don't have the latest fashions or the latest gadgets. That's not really that important. When my children were young, once a week we had family night where we would play games or do other fun things. On Saturdays, we always did things as a family. We did lots of family camping. We either camped with a tent or drove through all 48 states in a station wagon. We climbed mountains, went swimming, fishing, boating, and played all sorts of games. As a family, we had lots of fun times together. Do the same with your family. I'm 83 years old. Just the other day, I was playing with some of my grandchildren. I was even running around and playing games with them. Finally, Country Mouse leaves his home in the forest to see where City Mouse lives. When City Mouse saw his house in the distance, he boasted, that's where I live. Wow, exclaims Country Mouse. That's a beautiful house. As they crawled through a small hole to enter the home to avoid the cat and the dog, Country Mouse said, that's a funny way to enter a house. I never do that when I enter my home. City Mouse frowns and never says a word. Oh, if only we would appreciate the things we have instead of constantly complaining. I need a new carpet, a new refrigerator. I need a refrigerator with water on the door. I want a new car, and on and on and on. Some are never satisfied, and some go into deep debt to buy what they want. How much wiser to learn to live within your means. Remember, material things don't make a home. It's a loving and happy atmosphere that makes a home. City Mouse showed him his bed. Country Mouse was greatly impressed. Then they went to eat. Wow! I've never seen food like this, said Country Mouse. He ate cereal, raisins, and cookies. This is the most delicious food I have ever eaten, he said. See, bragged City Mouse, I told you. Then the cat arose. Run as fast as you can. Why? Don't ask, shouted City Mouse. Just run as fast as you can and follow me. This paradise is beginning to show cracks. After explaining to Country Mouse about cats, Country Mouse says, where I live, I never have to be afraid of cats. Then City Mouse takes him to a place guaranteed not to have cats, the cheese bin. Country Mouse took a bite. It was the best food he had ever eaten. Then Country Mouse is just about to eat cheese attached to a mousetrap. City Mouse screams, stop! Don't touch that cheese. Why not? It looks like all the other cheeses. It's a mousetrap. If that trap closes on you, you'll be dead. That was the final straw. Then Country Mouse says, you can live in your beautiful house, sleep in your wonderful bed, and eat your delicious food. You can boast about your wonderful house, but you live in constant fear and danger. I have a cozy home where I live, a bed to sleep in, and plenty of good food to eat. You have a house, but I have a home where there's constant peace and quiet. I'm convinced my home is a much better place to live in than your house. I urge you parents, whatever you do, don't join the rat race in just pursuing material things. Make your place a home where your children will find love, caring, and lots of fun. You'll never regret it.